welcome to your Meant to Shine podcast. Today, I'm so delighted to interview an amazing soul and soulpreneur, Tammy Brunson, from Florida. She has a lot to deliver to all of you here. And so let's see what is coming to us today. So, Tammy, can you please introduce yourself to us?
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you. And thank you to all who feel guided to connect in. Um, I am just a little background. I was just moved out to Florida from California a year and a half ago. So I'm really kind of a Cali girl. It's where I was raised and where I lived most of my life. It's where I raised my own children. I have 5 boys and 1 daughter. Beautiful, beautiful life raising them. And through a lot of miraculous events, I'm actually living a whole different timeline than I was when I was a mom of 6 kids. So entirely just I see that version of myself as a past life as we speak of that.
Interesting.
So I like to deliver the message to those who are inspired to listen on how you can do the same. If your life is no longer feeling passionate, if it's not something where you're living minute by minute your highest excitement, then I like to guide people on how they can connect to that highest excitement and how they can begin that transformative experience.
Yeah, I can see that. So you are a transformational coach, right? And I,
Yes.
and I do believe that your spiritual awakening led you or has been leading you because it's a non-stop is journey, right? To
Mhm.
to become this global leader that you are, helping people find coherence in heart and brain, bring a new timeline, a new version of you, much better. So, can you tell us about this spiritual awakening?
Sure, I'd love to. It's one of my favorite topics. I was in a real traumatic accident in 2011, and after following doctor's orders for years and many surgeries and on many medications, my life was feeling very mundane, and I reached out in a surrendered moment and asked God to take me or heal me. Which I also connect that to my higher I am source. When I say the word God, everybody has their
Mm-hmm.
own version of that, whether it's the universe, a higher soul, or an actual God that you pray to. Doesn't matter. We're all speaking of the same entity as far as I am concerned. So I reached out to that higher I am source and I said, take me or heal me, because this life was no longer resonating with me. I found myself pretty much I could walk very limited, and my leg was 5 times the size from the knee down, black and blue. I was in an electric scooter, where before my accident, I hiked, I surfed, I biked, I did everything under the sun. I lived out on 20 acres. I love to be active and in nature. And so in that surrendered moment, through discovering visualization, I was gifted a video of from my son and daughter-in-law who were hiking the Dolomites, and they used a drone to video themselves and created a 45-minute YouTube video. So I accidentally began visualizing myself. As I watched that video, I found myself just immersed, like I was out there walking it, and I became very passionate about
Oh,
watching it, kind of accidentally. I just every day I would put it back on because it got me into this state of mind that I couldn't find that physical activity with my limitations, but I found it in my imagination through that video.
yeah, sure.
And then I also discovered energy healing, began down the road of energy healing. And within 3 months, I was 100% healed. I was
Wow.
out walking in this 28, this acreage neighborhood I lived in. I was walking hills. I was walking 3 to 4 times a day because I was so elated to be walking and healed again. I was healthier than I had ever been. And one other thing that happened in this spiritual awakening is that I was guided one morning. I woke up real early in the morning, like around 3:30, and I had this something tell me to go out and watch the sunrise. Well, it was cold. It was January, and going outside and watching the sunrise did not sound real exciting that morning as I was cuddled in bed, and I really just wanted to fall back asleep. But this prompting kept just really working at me. So finally, just to kind of quiet it down, I set an alarm, and I looked up what time the sun would rise, and I set an alarm for it. And then I says, okay, I'm making a deal. I've got an alarm set. Let me go back to sleep now. I didn't go back to sleep. I was feeling this really intense energetic push
Mm,
to
okay.
do something different. So when my alarm went off and it was time for that sun to rise, I wrapped blankets around me, went out and sat on my patio, my back patio where I could see the sun. And it's time collapsed. That's all I can tell
Oh,
you. I felt when I was done watching the sunrise, I felt like I'd only been out there for maybe 15 minutes at the most. And when I came in, it had been over 4 hours that I was out there. And so something happened to time during
mm-hmm.
that sun. And I really believe this was some type of spiritual connection to what happened next, because it was after that, shortly after that, I had this empowerment in me that I didn't have before. I was able just to get off the medicine. And now I'm ready to try to go to walk. It's almost like I had this inner knowing I could do something that I didn't have before. And what I
Oh,
attribute that to today, because of course there's been many years, many books, much learning, many certificates in between when that happened and today, that as we ascend, as we evolve into a higher state of consciousness, we merge with a higher self, a higher part of us who, let's say for the sake, is on a higher floor, so has a bigger
mm-hmm.
picture of our life and what we can do and what we're meant to do. And so we will just, as we start to tune in to that person or that higher soul, we will just start to feel these knowings and these urges and these abilities.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. This is a spiritual, I can say spiritual awareness. You become more aware of these nuances of what you say, I am, source. Yeah, the
Yes.
truth of I am. You get to know more and more as you connect with this higher self.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. And then, of course, your spiritual gifts flourished.
My spiritual
Yes.
gifts flourished. I started to have a greater understanding. I guess in some ways we would call this a telepathic ability. I would just kind of know a deeper meaning between what people would say to me or something they would relay to me. I had this deep forgiveness in me where I was able just to see a
Mm.
higher version of this person, even if they were hurting me or doing something to me. And I started getting certificates in energy healing and mind reprogramming. And as I started to work with that, I began connecting to their higher version, their higher self, because that's what you do through energy healing and this mind reprogramming. And as I did, I started to get messages for clients. I started to understand that I was being used by this
Mm.
higher evolved version of themselves to because our bodies are vessels. So I
Oh,
started allowing
yes.
myself to be a vessel of information. And so I started to do guidance messages in these energy healing sessions and in these different
Mm-hmm.
transformation sessions. So yeah, so but I have this amazing ability to, see it in visuals. I get metaphors and visuals that will just come in almost like a dream, you'd say, but a wake dream. And
Okay.
then through that visual, it's like a bubble of information will come in through the visual. Um, so yeah, so I started to just expand on those and trust them. And it's a learning process,
Yes, a learning process. Yes. As you were saying, some words come to my mind, like keywords, like you said, surrender. So we
Yes,
have to surrender in order to receive and have that inner knowing. So it has to do with allowance. Yes.
yes,
And
yes,
when we are connecting, learning to connect with our higher self, or I call divine. So we are in fact experience this energy of allowance. So
yes.
how this experience of allowance has been to you as you evolve as a global leader, as you as Tammy here?
Well, today, I think the most resistance I had was coming out online and being more global.
Okay.
I'm very much I have a really bright personality, but I'm very much a background person in the sense that I like to uplift others versus show myself. So so that's been probably the most challenging is to
Okay.
but so it started, of course, it always starts with you. And then I started receiving messages with clients. And then I started getting, I always get woke up in the middle of the night, it seems like, when these messages come in, and it'll be in a deep sleep. It's like I sit up and I just have so much information. I have to get a journal or something to write with or a recorder. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started receiving these messages for a collective. And I was in a Facebook group for a long time where I offered guidance readings for people who came forward with questions, and that really helped helped boost my understanding and helped me kind of shift into being a little more seen with it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's one of those things, like you said, in surrender, when you start stepping aside your physical self and you start allowing these messages in, they'll quit if you don't share. So
Yeah.
it really is an equal give and exchange, so I was receiving more and more for a collective, and I wasn't no longer in this Facebook group, and I kept asking my higher self, well, who's the collective? Who are these messages for? Who am I supposed to share with? And they just told me, start sharing, to get online, start sharing, and here
Yeah.
I am. So I have a a newer Facebook group and YouTube channel, and I'm just out here sharing what I've been guided to share. So just
Exactly, exactly. Going online, I see that's a challenge for solopreneurs who are in a new adventure on their business path. I
yes,
see that. And also, oh, something that I notice is very important to test. You have, as you said, you have to go out there and start showing yourself, right? And testing, because you see what really works for you and what doesn't work for you, what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, right? And see what
exactly.
sort of people tune into your messaging. So this
Right.
is so important. So just go out there and deliver your own messages that you receive. This is something that I started with myself. And something, Tammy, that I noticed as well is that you are exactly in a place that you are open to become aware of your technology. When I started as an Akashic Records reader, but nowadays this is not exactly what I do. I downloaded my own methodology that I call Akashic Alignment Consciousness and Technology. So I had to test and test, go out there. And English is not my native language. It's not my mother tongue. So, and then I had to overcome the barriers of, oh, she's not native. Okay, the fear of being judged, all of this.
Yes,
Yeah, as you
yes, for sure.
said, the same for you, right? So,
Right. If I may, when I was really, so I have conversations on a daily basis with my higher self. It's really just another version of me that we talk all the time. And
amazing.
when I was asking my higher self, as being a little resistant of coming online, I was like, who am I going to be talking to? What, they're going to judge me and
Oh.
this and that. And this is how my guide showed me. So if anybody's ever seen neurons in our brain and how they start wiring a network to create a program, if you've ever not seen those videos, look them up. They're really, really cool. And anyway, so my guide showed me how humanity right now is show me this, if you can picture kind of like spider webs, because that's what our neurons look like a little bit. It's like spider web.
Exactly.
And they showed me this spiritual community that is creating this white network to
Mm-hmm.
to embrace humanity and the earth and to help raise the earth. And then it showed me the dark network in black spider web
Oh.
and how it's pulling at humanity. And then it showed me, after it gave me that visual of this almost encircled with the black on the bottom and the white on the top, it just filled it in with all this gray in the middle. And it showed how the gray was getting pulled from each direction. And so then my higher self just showed me that as I begin talking, there will be consciousnesses that will be formed into what my experience has been, what I'm guided to talk about, that will create a part of that
Very
network
interesting.
that makes that whole white network. Yeah, it was really cool. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, here we go.
Here we go. Yeah.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Exactly, exactly. And something just that you do that I really resonate is heart coherence.
Hmm.
Yeah, so our heart has consciousness. Yeah,
Yes.
it's the
Yes.
heart consciousness. And also our organ heart has its own neural system. Could you please, Tabby, share about heart coherence to
I
us?
sure can. I love this topic. So, our heart, our soul lives in our heart. Our heart is our authentic self pumping through our body, trying to be seen. And we limit that authenticity through judgment or anger or frustration, any emotions that we have. So, whenever we have these lower frequency emotions that is blocking our heart from being able to just beat into the world as its authentic piece of
Mm-hmm.
the puzzle, you're that then there will be communication through the body, and this is done through illnesses, disease. Your body's not at ease. It's done through pain. Once you've hit pain or illness or disease, you've actually got to the last of the communication. It will start to
Exactly.
communicate through vision. You'll see things, you'll get messages, you'll get intuition, you'll get thoughts, you'll just start thinking. Let's just use, for example, maybe you're meant to quit a job because this job is really holding you down. It's holding you back from your authentic self. You'll Things will start to happen that we label bad. Maybe, a coworker, problems with coworkers, problems with the boss, all kinds of things will start to happen. If you ignore all that and just keep shoving it down
Mm,
and shoving it down, those are what we call energy blocks in the body, and the body
exactly.
begins to communicate through maybe hurt shoulders because you're carrying too large of a load
Mm-hmm.
at a job, or backache. Your body communicates through the heart coherence, and it allows you a message whenever you have any ailment there's a message there, and you can communicate back to your body. You can say, what are you trying to tell me? Show me what you're trying to tell me. And if you quiet your mind, the body will talk back to you. And so we can heal the body through heart coherence. We can experience a new experience through the body. If you're wanting to try a new sport, you can begin talking to the body through the right brain, which I haven't talked about yet, and the heart coherence and the communication. You can begin to communicate to the body what you want to experience. If you have, let's
Yes.
say you have acne and you don't want acne, you can, you don't do it through, oh, I hate my acne, because what you're doing is that is a frequency stronger than what you're
Mm,
truly wanting to experience. It's always what you believe to be true. So if you start communicating to the body, I am beautiful and I have no acne, and you can look in the mirror, and even though you might see acne, if you can truly look in the mirror and believe truthfully that you are going to be acne free, then there'll be a
mm-hmm.
gestation period. You have to hold that, but just the same as physical energy has a gestation period where it's created.
Exactly.
And then that creation will appear with that acne-free experience. So you can have that with anything. That was just an example.
Yes, cells are always listening.
Yes,
Yeah,
always. That's
yeah,
what
it's
they're there for.
yeah,
They're there to communicate too. We just have never been
exactly.
told
It's
that.
all about energy and frequencies.
Yes. And that's how I healed within 3 months. It was, I started communicating what I truly desired to the cells versus complaining about what was.
Or being a victim of the
Yes,
situation. That's where most people are tuning themselves into this victim energy. And
yes,
then they are in this mental loop, emotional loop, and they can't get out of it because they are reinforcing with their words and thoughts about that. So they
right.
stay at the same place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Empowerment versus victimhood. Definitely key.
Yes.
Key.
Exactly. And you talk also, I see that your work is also about empowerment, right?
Oh, definitely. That's key to the work is coming into your empowerment, who you are, your
Yeah.
that you are part of the I am God source.
Mm-hmm.
Your right brain, your imagination is your creator. That is the creator of your reality. It's a receptor. So your right brain is sending out electricity all the time with a reception of what you are wanting to desiring to create.
Yeah,
And your heart coherence is the magnet. And so what your heart truly
exactly.
believes, what you truly believe, this is key, is what magnetizes in to now create what you call your external environment. So how people
Exactly.
treat you, how your body, how, if you're healthy or not, just everything you experience in your external environment comes from that communication between your receptor and your magnet.
Yes, the heart is the magnetic field that attracts, attracts, attracts.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. And how can people find you, Tammy?
Sure. So I have a website, tammy-brunson.com, and
Oh,
I have a Facebook and a group and a
what's the name
YouTube
of a
channel,
group?
and it's called Cracks in the Illusion. So
Oh,
because it is I as a transformative coach, I will help you start to realize your illusion will crack, because it is just an illusion that
mm,
you're a victim here. It's just an illusion that you have to keep living this programmed life that you've been programmed through your parents, your family, your community, your religion, your schools, your workplace, all of these external, collective of people have attributed to the programming that you placed as you were growing up from a little child. And
Mm-hmm.
I love to help those break those programs apart
Okay.
and now let those neurons create a new network in the brain that allows you to now be
Mm.
your own creator of what you really want to experience.
Wow, that's so amazing. That's so empowering.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So did you see, Tammy? It was amazing spending my time here with you and you share your gifts, your journey, and also how people can find you if they want to empower themselves and really tap into the I am, the source energy that's we are in this physicality. So, any final message would you like to give to all the audience here? Is there
Oh,
anything you'd like
well,
to
let's
share?
say this. You are the
Okay.
writer, the director, and the actor of your own play. So
Yeah.
just listen to that for a minute and know that you created your experience as you grew up because it would give you the best base foundation for what you have to gift humanity. We need your piece of the puzzle. Every person listening to this,
Yeah.
humanity needs what you have to offer. You've got a special part of you that none of us have, a very unique, authentic part of you. And so once you
Yes.
tap into that version of yourself, it is truly like living a whole different life experience. And so then you become the director and actor of what you truly came here to experience. And I do offer on my website, I offer a discovery call for no charge. You can connect with me and
That's
share with
great.
me your goals and dreams, and I'm willing to just chit chat with you a little bit. And if it's not me who can help you, I'm willing to help you, guide you where you can find the beginning step to that being that own empowered version of yourself.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow, amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, Tammy, it's a pleasure to have you here and listening to you to
Likewise.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure people will connect with you and learn about their uniqueness, their authenticity. And yes, as you said, we all make part of this cosmic framework. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, Tammy. So thank you so much, my dear.
Thank
And
you.
thank you everyone here that is listening to us on Spotify or on YouTube. So thank you and see you soon. And stay tuned for more magic, more empowerment, more growth and success. Yeah, it's Angela Cruz here, your host at your Meant to Shine podcast. And I thank you and I love you. Bye.